Everyone is excited about AI, what it can do, how it can help with solving our day-to-day problems, and how it can answer our questions perfectly and intellectually. How it can write emails and schedule our activities. Do it in seconds what will take humans weeks of struggle and draining of energy. But have you sat down and asked yourself, what is actually the history of today's artificial intelligence? Today, we're going to be breaking down and talking about the genesis of AI. I have broken it down into 3 categories, which are the birth of the dream, the cold reality, and the awakening. But before we dive deep, this is the promising AI. 83 years ago, computers like ENIAC were not as accessible as today's computers. They basically use glass tubes, which we know as vacuum tubes. The job of these vacuum tubes was to turn on switch and off switches without doing so manually. But here's the problem with these computers. It was very huge, about 30 tons, meaning it needed a special room to be kept. Wait, 30 tons is like putting together 20 large cars. Wow. People of the olden days are really trying now. Another problem with these computers was that it generated a lot of heat, which requires so many fans so that the machine couldn't catch fire. The heat coming out of these computers were like hell. Well, not actually hell, but the heat was too much. According to the records, there are about 17,000 vacuum tubes powering these massive machines, which shows how massive it was. These vacuum tubes were fragile. On average, one will burn out every 2 days. Imagine using a computer where you have to replace these parts every 2 days. Back then, engineers were on standby so that whenever a vacuum tube burns out, they had to trace it and replace it. Wow, so frustrating. These massive computers used about 160,000 watts of energy. Back then, whenever these computers were turned on, people in the neighborhood would complain about the street lights getting dim. Now, why these giant machines were taking up whole rooms, a different kind of magic was starting to happen. The birth of the chatbot. You see, ChatGPT wasn't the first. In 1966, we had ELIZA, the first chatbot that acted like a therapist. Then came Perry in 1972, a chatbot that was programmed to act paranoid in a historical moment that same year. Scientists actually made ELIZA and Perry talk to each other, the first ever bot-to-bot conversation. By 2001, a bot called Smart Child became the first friend of millions of teenagers on instant messaging. Then came Siri in 2011 and Alexa in 2014, giving AI a voice. Every one of these chatbots was a stepping stone, leading us from simple scripts to the generative giants we have today. This brings us to the first category of today's video, the birth of the dream. In the year 1943, Warren McCulloch, a neuroscientist, and Walter Pitts, a logician, sat down and thought, how does the brain think? They realized that brain is made up of a bunch of cells called neurons that either fires or don't fire. So they made a mathematical version of this, showing that thinking can be turned into maths. Now, fast forward to 1950, a man named Aaron Turing made a famous bet that by the year 2000, computers will be able to think like humans. He was basically trying to say that by then, computers will be able to copy humans. In the year 1956, a group of scientists came together one summer at Dartmouth College. They were trying to pick a name for their meeting, and John McCarthy, being one of them, helped pick the name artificial intelligence. Now, you know where the name artificial intelligence came from. In 1966, as I mentioned, Joseph Wisborne made the very first chatbot called ELIZA. It acted like a therapist, but whenever you ask it a question, it gives your question back to you. It wasn't perfect, but something happened that amazed Wisdom. His own secretary was giving all her secrets to this chatbot, showing that people have so much faith in this machine. Now, let's talk about the second category, the code reality. In the 1970s, the AI winter started. The US and the UK government realized that after years of putting money into AI research, it didn't yield results. They pulled back, which made AI a bad word back then. In 1997, IBM built a machine called Deep Blue, which won the World Chess Championship. That was proof that computers could outcalculate humans. This brings us to the final category, the awakening. For years, AI couldn't tell the difference between one object and the other. For instance, differentiating between a cat and a dog. Then in 2012, a team used NVIDIA chips, that is GPUs, and a massive list of internet photos to train a deep learning model. During this era, AI didn't just achieve its purpose, it crushed it. But here's the secret most people don't know. OpenAI didn't do this alone. The T in ChatGPT stands for transformer, a technology actually invented by Google in 2017. Google built the engine, but OpenAI was the one who put it in a car and drove it as fast as possible. 2022 was the mainstream moment for AI. That was when OpenAI released ChatGPT, which reached 1 million users in just 5 days. This caused a red code at Google. A code red at Google, forcing them to finally release their own giant, Gemini, to the world. Today in 2026, you're no longer watching the dream, we are living it.